Marvel doesn't lack great movie ideas. It leaves some of its best stories on the page. One look beyond the mainstream reveals comic arcs packed with cinematic scale, emotional depth, and characters ready for the big screen. Stories that could rival anything in the MCU, yet remain untouched by adaptation. They didn't fail, they were simply overlooked or considered too ambitious at the time. But audiences are ready now, and these stories could redefine what Marvel movies can be. But which comics deserve that leap next? Here are 10 Marvel comics that need movie adaptations. At number 10 is Annihilation. Published in 2006 by Keith Giffen and Andrea DeVito, Annihilation completely revitalized the entire cosmic side of the Marvel Universe. The story follows a terrifying armada from the Negative Zone, led by the monstrous Annihilus, wiping out the Nova Corps and leaving Richard Rider as the last of his kind. But what makes this arc legendary isn't just the sheer scale of the destruction, it's how it handles its roster and its stakes. It takes forgotten, D-list cosmic characters like Star-Lord, Drax the Destroyer, and Ronan the Accuser, strips away their standard, colorful superhero tropes, and thrusts them into the blood-soaked trenches of a brutal, high-stakes galactic war. The lore here is incredibly dense, featuring moments like Drax violently ripping Thanos' heart out of his chest with his bare hands, and Nova finally stopping Annihilus. It operates essentially as Independence Day meets Lord of the Rings in deep space, proving that Marvel's cosmic universe doesn't need Earth's Avengers to carry a massive, emotionally devastating, extinction-level narrative that permanently changes the cosmic hierarchy. At number 9 is Captain Britain and MY13, Vampire State. Published in 2008 by Paul Cornell and Leonard Kirk, this phenomenal arc is a razor-sharp fusion of superhero action and dark fantasy that perfectly honors the rich legacy of the Marvel UK publishing imprint. The gripping story follows the premier magical defense agency as they face a highly organized, tactical invasion. It completely ignores standard, repetitive alien invasion tropes, trading capes and tights for a terrifying, supernatural war deeply rooted in rich British folklore and ancient magical defense treaties. This epic narrative features incredible, deep-cut character histories, highlighting heavy hitters like Captain Britain, Blade, and the Black Knight wielding the cursed Ebony Blade as they desperately battle hordes of blood-sucking monsters. The villains don't just attack, Dracula literally forms a magical barrier around the United Kingdom, forcing MI13's Pete Wisdom to strike devastating bargains with actual demons to keep the country alive. It explores a completely untapped, obscure corner of the Marvel Universe, grounding supernatural horror in a gritty espionage framework that delivers a massive gothic war epic unlike anything else on the shelves. At number 8 is X-Statix. Published in 2001 by Peter Milligan and Mike Allred, this is a violently cynical mutant satire. Instead of fighting for peace or protecting a world that hates them, this bizarre team operates as a massive reality television franchise. Featuring weird, media-obsessed mutants like Yugo Girl, the Gelatinous Dupe, and Mr. Sensitive, they care far more about lucrative brand deals, merchandise sales, and focus group ratings than actually saving human lives. The survival rate of the team is practically zero, with heroes constantly dying horrific deaths on camera only to be immediately replaced by the next highly marketable, focus-grouped mutant the network executives can find. It perfectly captures the dark, cynical humor of something like The Boys, but it exists entirely within established Marvel continuity. It completely shifts the focus onto a strange, hyper-violent roster of glory hounds, offering a hilarious, blood-soaked critique of modern celebrity culture that aggressively flips the classic mutant metaphor on its head and leaves a massive trail of bodies in its wake. Coming up, we've got a squad of D-listers violently blowing up weird science, a timeline-breaking cosmic road trip, a compromised shadow war, and a desperate mutant manhunt. At number 7 is Nextwave, Agents of Hate. Published in 2006 by Warren Ellis and Stuart Immonen, this is an explosive, unapologetic love letter to raw comic book absurdity. The story follows a bizarre team including Elsa Bloodstone, Machine Man, Monica Rambeau, Tabitha Smith, and the Captain, who go rogue from the highest anti-terrorism effort, Hate, and its deranged leader, Dirk Anger, to violently dismantle unconventional weapons of mass destruction funded by the Beyond Corporation. There is absolutely no deep moral lesson to be found here. The team fights everything from Fin Fang Foom and killer broccoli men to drop bears and homicidal mind control robots. It actively mocks standard comic continuity, transforming Machine Man into a beer-chugging misanthrope who hates fleshy ones, and leaning heavily into absurd, kinetic visual gags. It operates entirely as a high-budget action comedy on steroids, offering a pure distillation of unhinged kinetic destruction without the heavy baggage of ongoing continuity, serving up a relentless, fast-paced bloodbath. At number 6 is Cosmic Ghost Rider. Published in 2018 by Donny Cates and Dylan Burnett, this heavy metal fever dream follows a brutal alternate future Frank Castle. After losing everything on Earth, Frank makes a literal deal with Mephisto to become the Ghost Rider, only to find the planet dead. He then serves as a Herald of Galactus, and eventually gains the immense power Cosmic. Driven completely mad by centuries of total isolation, his ultimate plan is to travel back in time to violently kidnap baby Thanos, hoping to rewrite history by raising the future tyrant as a good guy. Naturally, this backfires horrifically, resulting in an alternate timeline where Thanos grows up idolizing the Punisher and becomes an even more lethal authoritarian dictator wearing a skull shirt. It is pure, chaotic science fiction moving at breakneck speed, delivering a relentless, insane intergalactic road trip built on the tragedy of a broken man trying to use terrible parenting to fix the universe. At number 5 is Secret Warriors. Created in 2009 by Brian Michael Bendis and Jonathan Hickman with art by Stefano Caselli, this is the absolute ultimate underground espionage thriller. The gripping premise kicks off when Nick Fury makes a horrifying discovery. SHIELD has been secretly controlled by the terrorist organization Hydra from the very beginning. Stripped of his official resources and hunted by his former allies, Fury goes entirely rogue. He begins recruiting Caterpillar teams, highly covert squads led by Daisy Johnson, composed of superpowered nobodies, unproven rookies, and the legacy children of established supervillains like Ares and Hellfire, to fight a desperate shadow war across the globe. This isn't a simple good versus evil slugfest. It's Fury playing 4D chess, manipulating Norman Osborn's hammer, infiltrating Hydra, and battling the Soviet terrorist group Leviathan all at the same time. Delivering this narrative as a grounded, highly tactical Black Ops chess match fueled by brutal betrayals, shifting allegiances, and intense deep state paranoia gives readers the gritty, lethal street-level action they constantly crave, focusing strictly on ruthless underground spies. At number 4 is X-Men Messiah Complex. Crafted in 2007 by a powerhouse team including Ed Brubaker, Peter David, and Craig Kyle, this is a massive mutant action epic. Set years after the mutant gene was magically erased, leaving only around 198 known mutants worldwide, the thrilling premise follows a desperate race when a new mutant baby named Hope is suddenly born in Alaska. The X-Men, Mr. Sinister's savage marauders, and religious zealots known as the Purifiers all violently scramble to capture the child representing their ultimate survival. It plays out as a relentless, continent-spanning chase moving at breakneck speed, forcing Cyclops into impossible, lethal decisions to secure the future of his species, including officially authorizing a Lethal Force X-Force strike team to hunt down the traitorous Bishop, who wants to murder the baby to prevent his own dystopian timeline. Visually, it contrasts futuristic soldiers with fanatical cultists during massive tactical strikes and a brutal, bloody clash on Muir Island, cementing itself as a highly kinetic, high-stakes war for mutant survival. The top 3 operate on a whole different level of insanity. Stick around for a botched supervillain heist, an emotional heavy metal fantasy, and a team of gods that takes global control by force. At number 3 is Superior Foes of Spider-Man. Published in 2013 by Nick Spencer and Steve Lieber, this is a flawless, deeply hilarious street-level heist comedy. The premise follows Boomerang forming a new Sinister Six consisting of only 5 incompetent D-list supervillains, Shocker, Speed Demon, Beetle, and Overdrive, who attempt an overly complicated heist to steal the severed head of the cyborg mob boss Silvermane, leading to betrayals and utter chaos. This works perfectly as a classic, interwoven heist narrative filled with brutal double crosses and incredibly low, relatable stakes, capturing the exact same DNA as a Guy Ritchie film set inside the criminal underworld. Instead of saving the world, the story focuses entirely on mundane villain struggles. Boomerang being a massive pathological liar, the team trying to pay rent, hanging out at the bar with no name, aggressively avoiding the Punisher, and constantly backstabbing each other to get ahead. It's a tightly woven epic packed with stylish edits, kinetic comedy, clever visual gags, and hilariously clumsy escapes. At number 2 is Beta Ray Bill, Argent Star. Published in 2021 by Daniel Warren Johnson, this is a triumphant, emotionally devastating powerhouse wrapped in sci-fi action. The story follows the bizarre alien warrior Beta Ray Bill after Thor destroys his hammer, Stormbreaker, trapping him in a monstrous cybernetic Corbinite form that prevents him from ever experiencing physical touch or feeling normal again. Heartbroken and deeply insecure, Bill takes his trusty sentient ship, Scuttlebutt, and teams up with Pip the Troll and a resurrected Scourge the Executioner, descending into the fiery depths of Muspelheim to violently claim the magical Twilight Sword of Surtur. This delivers a clean, emotionally devastating hero's journey about body image, trauma, and brutal acceptance, wrapped entirely in explosive science fiction action, featuring a literal ping-pong match for a ship's soul. Visually, it plays out exactly like an animated 1980s heavy metal album cover brought to life with kinetic battles, massive dragons, and unapologetic cosmic scale. At number 1 is Squadron Supreme. Published in 1985 by Mark Gruenwald and Bob Hall, this is a monumental, genre-defying philosophical epic that actually beat Watchmen to the punch. The Squadron operates essentially as the Marvel version of the Justice League, but after their world is left in absolute ruins, partly because the heroes themselves were violently mind-controlled into destroying it, they decide that simply fighting villains is not enough anymore. Instead, under the leadership of Hyperion, they systematically take over the governments of Earth to forcefully implement the Utopia program. They disarm the military, cure diseases, and introduce B-Mod technology to literally brainwash criminals and former enemies into becoming model citizens and loyal team members. This ideological split forces Nighthawk to step down and form a violent underground resistance to stop his former friends. It is a massive, morally complex thriller deeply exploring absolute power, violently stripping away human free will in the process, and delivering a standalone, serious narrative event that ends in a devastating, lethal final battle that permanently redefines what superhero storytelling can achieve. These stories deserve the big screen. Comment your top pick, subscribe now, and stay tuned for more Marvel deep dives and adaptations.